up, Nation? Welcome back to another Adrian Athletics podcast. Don't forget to join the herd, aka hit the weight room. Today I'm here with Mr. Wortman and Liddy Wood, and my name's Gavin Epperson. Mr. Wortman, our first question for you today is, how do you run the middle school and the high school?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great being on the podcast. There's a lot that goes into running a school. You know, I think probably the most important thing is just the people that work here are really talented, and just making sure that they have what they need to be supported. You know, I'm a big believer in teacher autonomy, which, you know, for example, you know, with Mr. Ellsworth, this broadcasting, it kind of happened organically, you know, and he took it and ran with it, and it's just turned into such a great program. And I believe that every teacher and every staff member has that opportunity to do that. You know, when they're given a program to take over and run, we like to see them make it their own, put their own touch on it. You know, down in the middle school, it is a little bit of a challenge not being in that building 100% of the time, but the staff down there is just they're so talented and dedicated to what they do. They're good veteran teachers, and then they're just a cohesive unit. Those teachers are. So having those guys in place has been instrumental to the success that our middle school has. And then just maintaining that standard down in the middle school. You know, the students know what's expected of them in each class. They know what's expected of them behavior-wise, the amount of work that they're supposed to put in, and they reach those expectations every year. And it's just a testament to what the staff does down there. I just want them to be equipped with as many tools as possible to be able to do their jobs. At the high school, you know, we have so many different programs going at once. You know, for example, Mr. Einix at Hawaii Field Days today with a group of 15 or 16 FFA members, and then the whole county brings their fifth grades to that. And that's another program that is just an example of somebody taking it and running with it. And just me kind of getting out of the way, but making sure that they have the tools and the resources available to make that program run. And you can say that about athletics, every athletic program. You can say that about every activity, whether it's the play that happened last week. You know, Mrs. Lundgren and Mrs. Hanson did such a good job on that, and just making sure that they have the resources and time available to work with students to make that thing really click. And then when you go into the classroom, it's the same thing. You know, you can look at Mr. Cleaver and Mrs. Johnston in the math department. Just make sure that they have the tools to be able to teach the way that they teach, and just all the way down the line. You know, so it's about the people that we have, the students that we have, and ensuring that they have the resources that they need.
All righty.
Okay, next question. What are you most excited for going into the end of the school year?
It's always bittersweet when the senior class graduates, you know, because this is my 15th year at the district, and I've seen the kids that are graduating now. I've been with them since they were really little, and so it's like kind of bittersweet. It makes me feel pretty old, and I still I guess I am old these days, but it's like the junior class, for example, I taught them in first grade, right? And you guys would have been in second grade. Mm-hmm. And now you guys are 18 years old, ready to go to the next step of life. But it's also like you guys are so ready to be able to move on, just because of the amount of work that you guys have put in here at the school, the dedication that our students have. So I do get really excited towards the end of the year to see what your guys' plans are and how you guys follow through with it. And it's also hard to say goodbye, though, but it's a great moment to see you guys walk across the stage and that new chapter of life begin. So,
all right. So my next question is, what big changes have you made so far in Adrian that you think were for the better?
There's been a lot of changes since I've arrived. You know, when I first arrived at Adrian, there was no new gym, there was no track, There were no new lights. This room wasn't here. This was an old taxidermy room. It had like dead rattlesnakes and all kinds of crazy stuff in here. And now it's just this awesome classroom. So that's been a big change that I've been blessed to be able to watch, is just the growth of the district. You know, a lot of staff changes, but I think a lot of it has been staff moving on to different opportunities, but the core remains. You know, that like Miss Esplin's staying, Miss Presley staying, all these teachers, George or Coach Ellsworth staying. You know, keep retaining Trisha and Seth and the middle school teachers. That's probably been one of my best accomplishments, or one of my greatest. I don't know it wouldn't be an accomplishment, but one of my greatest gifts, honestly, is just keeping that core staff together, because there's just a certain group that makes things click and that keeps things going, and we're able to retain those teachers, and that's been big for us. So.
Yeah, so kind of a follow-up question on that. Do you plan on making any big changes in the near future for like next school year?
Not really any big changes. You know, it's always, we're a reflective practice, you know, as educators. It's what goes well, what didn't go well, what can we do to fix it, you know.
Yep.
And so we got to look at some different things on how we manage our dual credit courses and our recovery credit classes. Like how do we make that better, because what happened this year wasn't working, you know. But to make a mid-year change was a little difficult with staffing reasons and stuff. You know, another big change is how do we continue to boost this program, you know, and how do we use Mr. Ellsworth effectively to make sure that this program expands and it becomes one of the best broadcast programs in the state, because there's not a lot of schools doing stuff like this, and Mr. Ellsworth's been on the cutting edge of this and really pushing it. So how do we take it to the next level and continue to support this? So I think reaching down into the middle school with this program is going to help, and just like Mr. Ellsworth and I were talking the other day, and he brings up great points about electives, you know, and this is an elective that is meaningful. You learn a lot with it, and just those kind of things. Like, what electives are we truly offering that are meaningful? And that's what we have to evaluate this summer. So,
Yep.
Okay. What's the hardest thing about running the high school and middle school?
Consistency is always a challenge, you know, because every situation is different. So you always have to be, like I talked about, as a reflective practitioner, is how did I handle this the last time? Did I do it correctly? Did I not do it correctly? And how can I do it better this time? You know, there's a lot of things that I'm still learning. I learn every year on things. So just making sure that as a school we stay striving towards improvement, and just little by little, 1% better every year, you're going to get to where you need to be. So just focusing on the small details is the biggest challenge. You know, you get caught up in the big things, and when you forget about the small things, and focus on details.
All right, before we get going, I'm going to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. You guys can watch their video at the end of our video. But then we got kind of an interesting question for Mr. Wortman. We got to find one that's good, though. You're getting asked this one.
Okay.
If you can see this picture, someone's hair is getting done, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What is the woman having done with her hair?
She's dyeing her roots.
Kind of close. You want another guess?
Yeah. Dyeing her whole hair. Perming. Highlights.
Yes.
Bang.
Having highlights added. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Wortman, I think our final question would be: would you like to see anybody on the podcast that you'd like to give a quick call out to?
Yeah. First off, what you guys are doing is awesome. You know, I'm proud of you two for doing this and being the trailblazers for this program. So thank you for that. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that nobody really realizes. So I think Miss Dudley would be a fantastic person to get on this. So,
Okay.
Miss Dudley, if you watch these, we're coming for you.
all right. Thank you too.
Thank you, Mr.
Yep.
Wortman.
Thank you.